I'm gonna have to keep it real with you right now, and I hope you don't get offended by this, but you shouldn't be an entrepreneur, like at all. Don't do it. I know social media makes it seem glamorous. Seems like you about to be financially free. You take jets everywhere, you do X, Y, and Z. No. The one thing that I hate about social media is that it makes 1% of someone's life seem like 100% of their life. This is coming from someone who has and still is a full-time entrepreneur. Actually, making the transition, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I've done this for about 4 years now. Like, when I say entrepreneurship, because there's fake entrepreneurs. There's people who are like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, but they got a 9-to-5 job on the side and they're good. Even if they don't make money in the business they're trying to create, they can get the money from the 9-to-5. I'm talking about the pure raw dog entrepreneur that does not have an ounce of support. Like, burnt all bridges, burnt all ships. Now I got to learn how to swim. Like, that entrepreneur, that life that y'all see people doing, it's not for you. I'm telling you, 99% of you should not be doing this because it requires. Here's what I know. People who tend to either be successful or tend to even get into entrepreneurship for real are people who are either extremely delusional or just don't conform to society, and they have a mission that they want to go after that goes against certain things in society, or they are already rich and they can just hire a bunch of people to do the work for them, right? And they can just build companies left and right. Those are the only two people that actually succeed in entrepreneurship, because here's the reality. Unless you have a passion for a specific mission in life or a specific solution you want to provide to society, there's literally no reason for you to go be an entrepreneur. Oh, I want to start this marketing agency because I saw this person say they can make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month off a marketing agency, not knowing that's not even net profit. That person's taking home like $1,000 a month because they have to pay all these people, all these systems to make things work. That's what y'all don't understand. There's nuances to entrepreneurship that a lot of these guys aren't telling you. And I'm telling you this because I've done these things. I've built a lead gen agency. I know what the margins look like on that. I've built a tech company. I know the sacrifices that you need to make to build a venture-backed tech company, right? I know the sacrifice, the money I had to put up for it, right? Before we got funded, how I had to hustle while I was doing it. I didn't have anything stable because I quit my job and literally went all into it. I had like maybe $40,000 in my bank to save, and I ran through all of it just trying to stay afloat during that period where we were trying to raise money and make things work. And then the startup failed, and I ended up getting out of it with $0 in my bank account, right? And then trying to rebuild from that, and then figuring out, well, I want to go start a fitness business. Ran that up, that crashed. Then I had to rebuild it back up again. Like, so many different things to where, like, financially you get drained, bro. Like, it's not fun. I'm trying to really just give you realistic information for you to understand, like, entrepreneurship is just not for everybody. It may not be for you. And the cool part is, I'm gonna tell you, what you really want is financial freedom, location freedom, and just overall freedom, right? You just want to be free. You don't want people to tell you what to do. And I'll be real with you, the only way that you can really do that is by allowing your money to work for you. Getting into, investing in things, making cash flow to be able to invest in things so your money works for you and you don't need to work. That is the ultimate freedom. That is the ultimate wealth. That is why people build businesses. They build businesses so they can sell those businesses, so they can make money to be able to take that money and invest it in real estate, invest it in stocks, invest it in anything that brings money, right? Any asset. So if you understand that concept, why do you need to be an entrepreneur? You don't. You can go get a 9-to-5 job, get into tech. Like, why not get into tech and start making $120,000 a year, right? There are so many different educational platforms and ecosystems for you to understand and learn different things in tech, like cybersecurity. I'm doing that right now. That's how you know. Like, I've been an entrepreneur for literally like 4 years, not having anything. And by the way, if you're watching this video, you probably don't come from a rich family, because if you did come from a rich family, you wouldn't have watched the other videos because you wouldn't have been able to relate to it. So because you can relate to this video, you can understand that, like, you don't have a backup. Like, I can't, when I've been down bad to where I had no money in my bank account. You know, when I called my mom and I was like, "Hey, mom, you know, things are rough right now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need money." You know what my mom said? "Son, I'm gonna pray for you." You know how crazy my mom lived. "Son, I'm gonna pray for you." That's how a lot of y'all have your life. So I'm just giving you a word of advice that you need to actually structure and strategize your success on this planet. I'm not saying don't start a business, but I'm saying start a business when you have a solid cash flow. I didn't start the tech business until I had 40 bands in my bank account, right? If I had zero, I'm not starting a tech company, right? But what I did was I kept going because I love the freedom, right? Freedom. That's another thing. Y'all want time freedom, so you go become an entrepreneur, only to realize that it actually takes all of your life. Like literally, all of your life is in entrepreneurship. All of your life is around the business you're trying to build. You're thinking about it 24/7. You're sleeping less. Your days, they become 9 to 5, right? That's about 8 hours. Now it becomes 16 hours because you're working on the business all day. Everything you do is about the business. The business becomes your wife, right? It becomes your life, your wife, everything. So these are realities of entrepreneurship that most of you don't know because you're stuck watching highlight reels on Instagram of somebody drop in a private jet that they probably rented, probably don't even own, or somebody who is in Ibiza, or they have all these girls around them and they have this multi-million-dollar business supposedly, right? You're looking at that when I've been on the ground floor as an entrepreneur and with other entrepreneurs to know that we all go through the same stuff. Almost every real true entrepreneur you'll ever see has the worst credit in the world. Why? Because we take risks. I'm 26. I've taken so many risks in my life that I haven't been able to really build. I should have been a millionaire by now. Like seriously. But I've taken so many risks and I've taken so much of my time to try to build things and try to create things that like, yeah, I'm getting the experience and that's why I can talk to you like this and that's why I can have insight because I go through life. I go through the hardest part of life. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you really want to know yourself, then be an entrepreneur. If you don't want to really like challenge and really know who you are, because when you go through entrepreneurship, you'll know who you really are. Because you're gonna get tested financially, you're gonna get tested physically because you're not sleeping, you're not gonna be healthy, right? At least in the beginning. No entrepreneur ever is. And you're gonna test yourself spiritually because you're gonna want to give up many times. And you're gonna need a divine force to continue to help you keep going. My last video that I talked about, real men believe in God, is true. Because you need that reserve when you're going through tough times with entrepreneurship. And what makes entrepreneurship so hard? What makes it so hard is because you have to be in the plus. You have to be in the positives when it comes to making money, especially when you have bills coming in. Like my monthly, I probably have to clear $4,500 a month to just be broken even, right? At 26 years old. So if I'm a full-time entrepreneur with no 9 to 5 on the back end or no job, no nut like, and my only job is to build a business, I'm now stressed 24/7 because that business not only does it have to pay for my lifestyle and my overall base needs, but it also has to pay for itself because it has to basically be reinvested to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So when you get into pure entrepreneurship, it is just stress all the time. You will literally become you'll know who you are. You'll be tested by your character. You'll be tested by your resiliency. It's the same. You either become an entrepreneur or you go fight in the cage. Those are the two places where you can really know who you truly are. You'll face yourself and know exactly who you are, right? And so I say all this because I know so many of you want to be entrepreneurs, but I think you're doing it for the wrong reason. You really just want to start making $10,000 a month. Let's be real, right? You want to start doing that. You want to start getting a little bit more freedom, getting a little bit more money in the bank account. I'm going to tell you right now, entrepreneurship is not the way to do it. Sometimes people, and the other category, I said two categories: rich people and people who have high ambitions that can't conform to society. There is a third, and that third is someone of necessity, and I feel like I fall in that category as well. Someone who had to start the business because they had no other option. Like no other option can pay them as much, so they had to go start the business, right? The person who started the marketing agency because they couldn't go work anywhere else, right? The other thing you have to understand is you almost become unemployable when you become an entrepreneur. Because a lot of these companies realize, well, you're not going to be around for too long because, companies want company culture. You end up losing the opportunity to get employed at companies because you're solo. You have a mission, supposedly. That's what I'm saying. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to commit 100%, bro. You can't go back. You got to stay the course. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing is you need to build real tangible skills, not just sales, not just marketing, even though those are very important, but you need hard skills that are actually valuable in the marketplace. I'm telling you, cybersecurity, software engineering, learn how to code, all of these different things, really get into it, for real. Those are the things that you should do. You should learn a skill that you can utilize that can literally make sure that you're never broke, because all we really want is freedom. That's what people, I hate this misnomer that to be free, you need to be an entrepreneur. No, to be free, you need to have bread. You need to have money. You need to have money be able to work for you. That is when you are free. That is how wealthy people differentiate themselves from middle class and poor people. They differentiate themselves because they have money work for them and they don't work. They chill. They do whatever. Now they can do personal development. You know what I'm saying? So all of this is just to give you some understanding of the truth of entrepreneurship and why you probably shouldn't do it. I'm telling you, the only reason, if you have a burning desire to achieve a very large mission and to impact the world, you have a specific problem that you're obsessed with. Obsession is the key to entrepreneurship. You have a specific problem that you're obsessed with, or you're already wealthy and you want to just have another asset, so you build a business and you hire a bunch of people to do it for you and you just chill, right? You're the visionary. Or you have no other option but to be an entrepreneur. You can't get any other job. You can't do anything else but be an entrepreneur. Those are the only three ways that you can really do it. Everything else, if you have the opportunity to go learn a tangible skill that's going to make you over $100,000 a year to start, go do that first. Go get the bread first, because being an entrepreneur in scramble mode, I'm telling you, because I've done this. And now I'm transitioning into, and another thing you can do, let's say you don't want to go work in a big company. Do high ticket sales. Everybody's selling courses. Everybody's selling products. If there's a product or a course that you really like, it's high ticket. It's like $5,000 to $10,000, and there's already an influencer that's there that's creating the attention. So there's a ton of leads coming in, they just can't close it. And you come in and you just take a phone call for 30 minutes and close a deal, and you make $1,000 or you make $500 off of that one phone call. Do that. If you really want to get into something that's not corporate-y or not within a structured company, do that to start stacking money, to start building the skill of sales, and then you can go sell your own products. That's another way to go about that, right? So that's what I recommend. And also, entrepreneurship is starting to change a lot. And I'm liking it because you look at the creator economy, which is what I'm starting to get into now with the content that I'm doing and all that. The creator economy is growing, right? So building an audience is going to be important. And you also look at people reselling software. There's so many different areas of entrepreneurship. It's not just building a big company, but it's just about a vision that you have of how you want to impact the world and what you want to do. All entrepreneurship is literally arbitrage. And all arbitrage means is you're in the middle of a service provider and someone who needs that service. You're just the middle person that delivers the service to the person who needs the service, and you take the cut in the middle. You're a middleman. That's all it is. It's a game of arbitrage of middlemen. That is what entrepreneurship is, right? So you have to understand this stuff and really think. I want you to, after you watch this video, think hard. Do I really want to be an entrepreneur? Go through 10 gruesome years of just hardship, seeing all of your other peers just skyrocket, seeing them drive nice cars, knowing that you can do, I'm telling you, because this is me, knowing that you could literally be a millionaire right now if you just followed the regular path, but you went down the road that hasn't been stepped through, and you've been taking risks, and you now feel like, dang, I should have just went the other route. If you've already went this road, I encourage you, be strategic. Be strategic. If you want to get into entrepreneurship, be strategic. I'm being strategic now. I'm building a brand, right? As you can see right now, building a brand for myself while also doing cybersecurity, right? While also understanding that game. while building a technical skill to be able to have the cash flow to come in, to be able to now build the brand that's going to be my vehicle of entrepreneurship, right? Some people, they were created to build a big company, right? Like Google, Amazon, whatever. That's not me. I was created to build a strong personal brand, to be myself, right? To influence people. That's what I was created to do. So that is my chosen business model. That is my destined business model. You got to find, if you want to be an entrepreneur, what is your destined business model? Figure out what that is, right? Maybe it's leading teams. Maybe it's just building teams and leading teams and just like dealing with people. That can be your destined business model. Whatever that looks like, just figure it out. And I just hope this video gave you a realistic approach of entrepreneurship and what to really expect. Because it's not all glitters and rainbows and none of that. We all suffering out here. Real entrepreneurs that have no other way out but what they're doing are suffering every day. That's why it's hard for us to be in relationships. That's why it's hard for us to talk to regular people who aren't doing what we're doing, because we're constantly under stress. We're constantly dealing with debt. We're constantly dealing with something that didn't fall through. Sales that didn't go the way that they should. We're constantly dealing with financial turmoil all of the time, right? We're dealing with emotional turmoil all the time, doubting, should I be doing this right now? Imagine living like that 24/7. That is the life of an entrepreneur. So, like I said, really think about if this is something you really want to do, and just internalize this and realize that this is going to be your life for as long as you carry that mission for. I hope you found value in this. Like, comment, subscribe. Post a lot more of these videos. I love y'all. Y'all are growing. We're growing fast. We're sitting at 2K subscribers right now. We're still growing. I feel like I'm going to hit 3 in the next few weeks. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are engaging. Just give me topics. I'd love to talk about them. I'd love to just discuss certain things, but y'all are amazing. So I'll catch y'all on the next video.